Yo, what is up, everybody? It is your boy out here, CJ the DJ, coming to you live with a brand new episode of Hustle and Burn. As always, man, appreciate y'all tuning in. It is Sunday. Hopefully, everybody had a great weekend. Hopefully, we can end it off right, you dig? As always, what do? Shout out the sponsors, man. Diamond Consulting. For any general contractors out there in the Front Range, Colorado area that may need or utilize subcontractors in any different scope of work, contact Diamond Consulting, guys. What they have and provide is a private network of fully insured, pre-vetted subcontractors looking to grow and scale their company. So contact Diamond Consulting, guys. The proof is in the pudding. I've seen it with my own eyes. 720-563-7452. Top of the top to everybody, man. We gonna get right into it with the drink of the week this week, coming from Danico Brewing, man. Danico Brewing, I had their NA Italian Pilsner this week, guys. And I gotta tell you, it was fire. Italian Pilsner from Danico Brewery, guys. Had a lot of NAs this week, actually. 5 or 6 different NAs, man. They were all very good, all different types and styles. It's very interesting. As NAs are getting more popular, and I'm telling you guys, they are getting more popular. It's an extremely rapid growing industry. For those that don't really partake in drinking too much, but still want to kind of be involved, the NA is a perfect route for you. So this week, guys, check them out if you have time. Danico Brewing, their Italian Pilsner, man. Let's get into the Not For Long League, man. As I said, what's about to happen, Aaron Rodgers, guys, ends his media tour with the announcement that he is signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers and will attend mandatory mini camps this upcoming week. So, you know, he was seen working out with DK Metcalf. So again, this was all planned. He knew he was going to go to Pittsburgh. It's just Aaron Rodgers telling his little story, right? Like I tried to tell y'all. He's on the media run. He's doing this. He's doing the Good Morning Today shows and this type of shit. It's like, all right, bro. You're on Rogan. You're on Pat McAfee. We know something's coming. Boom. Sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know what I mean? Like, we seen this coming, bro. There was no other destination for Aaron Rodgers. So it's like, bro, if you really want to play football, cool. If you don't want to attend OTAs, this is my thing. Obviously, you just don't want to attend OTAs. You only want to have to show up when it's mandatory. That's fine. Just say that. We don't need the whole story of, like, I'm contemplating my career. Like, I don't know. I need another ayahuasca retreat to decide. Like, shut up, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit. I'm just gone off Aaron Rodgers, bro. I can't stand Aaron Rodgers, man. And, you know, I can't stand. It was crazy because I'm sitting at work, bro, after he signed. Swear, bro. 6 different Steelers fans by noon yesterday rocking their gear and shit. Like, they just popped outside. They feel confident now. Like, bro, y'all are still going to be a subpar team, okay? Subpar at best, bro. I give the Steelers probably winning 8 games, yo. I give the Steelers probably winning 8 games this season. And this will finally be the season where I think everyone catches up to me and says, yeah, Aaron, just hang it up, bro. And I think this is also the year where everyone says, Mike Tomlin, just hang it up, bro. Just hang it up. This is going to be the graveyard for both Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin this upcoming season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are going to look absolutely terrible, especially in their division. I am telling you right now. Even though I think their division is going to take a step back as a whole, I still think that the Steelers are probably going to be last in the division. They potentially could be worse than Cleveland this season. They are going to be awful, yo. I don't care that they have DK Metcalf as a big target on the outside. I get it. They got a young running back that they just got. I don't care. The Pittsburgh Steelers are not going to be good. All right. So that's really all the signing that we had this week. Obviously, you know, like I said, mandatory minicamp is coming up this week. So now that all the signings are done, the draft is done, the schedule's released, really what we're going to do this week, guys, is I'm going to be going over my top 5 teams for the season with y'all. I'm going to throw in a few sleepers in there. I'm going to throw in a few teams I also think are going to be taking a step back. But that's what we're going to be doing today, man. My top 5 teams this upcoming season, man. So the number 1 team I'm on the lookout for this upcoming season is the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Obviously, you know, they didn't lose too much, in my opinion. Over this offseason. And honestly, guys, looking at the NFC, like if you actually go through the NFC teams, okay, if we listed out all 16 NFC teams, The NFC is absolutely wide open, aside from the Philadelphia Eagles, in my opinion. Okay, you got a couple teams that are scratching the surface, but in my opinion, the NFC is completely wide open for the Philadelphia Eagles to go ahead and make another run. Nobody on that list to me is really fucking with the Eagles in any way, shape, or form. So I got the Eagles, man, as my number one top team this upcoming season. I could see the Eagles winning. I'm going to go with 14 games. I am going to go with 14 games for the Eagles this upcoming season. I think they got all the momentum. Again, they didn't lose really anything, especially when it comes to the offense. They still got the tush push that they'll be able to do. They've perfected that. So, the Eagles, I never want to say a team's going to back-to-back, right? That's so tough to do. The Eagles have an opportunity, in my opinion, because of how weak the NFC is right now in terms of just the league holistically, that I think the Eagles could potentially go on a run this season and push for another Super Bowl appearance and potentially, a back-to-back championship run. I don't know. We'll see. But the Philadelphia Eagles, man, the previous Cowboy fan in me, hurts to say that, but it's the facts, man. So I got the Philadelphia Eagles as my number one team, man. I think they can make another run at it. Saquon is at an all-time high. I think he's just going to have another great season. The guy is untouchable. I think he's going to be the one to break the Madden curse, you feel me? So we'll see, man. But Philadelphia is the number one team, in my opinion, to look out for. 14-win season is my projection for the Philadelphia Eagles, all right? Number two team, man. Number two team on the list, and this was a tough one for me. This honestly, guys, was a tough one for me, but I had to throw them in there. My top two team in the league this upcoming season, guys, is the Buffalo Bills. All right? Every time I doubt the Buffalo Bills, they surprise me. And I feel like they had a pretty good offseason. I think their new wide receiver core has just had more time to gel with Josh. And, I really feel like, especially coming off the heels of last season, how they gelled together, the pieces that they've added over the course of this offseason, I really think that the Bills could make some noise, man. They've been on the cusp of something. We've all seen it. We all hate to see it. I feel like the Bills are a team that, for some reason, just get the most hate. I feel like Josh is also a quarterback that just, gets hate for no reason. I just don't like the guy, right? But he's fucking good. He is good, bro. I just don't like the Bills. I don't know what it is, all right? But I do have them. Like I said, every time I doubt them, they surprise me. So I have them as the number two team this season. I will say, with me giving them the number two ranking, the one thing that we do have to pay attention to is the running back situation. Okay, they have a holdout situation with their running back, James Cook. He's up for a new contract after this season. Okay, so he would play this full season, then get a new contract, potentially, obviously. He's coming off the heels of his best season. Overall, touchdowns, everything like that, top running back. Obviously, you've seen Saquon signed his new contract. You see Ashton Genties of the world coming in and getting $40 million. The running back market has been completely reset. It's like we've chatted about before. When a big player signs a mega contract, it resets the entire market for all of these guys, right? We talked about it last week with Jonnu Smith at the tight end position. He's trying to renegotiate because the tight end market was thrown way, way high by, who was it? Was it Zach Ertz with the Arizona Cardinals, I believe? Kind of reset the tight end market, and Jonnu Smith is a big guy. So similar situation going on with James Cook in Buffalo, and that's why I think that will be one of the main things that we have to keep an eye on this season is James Cook. And kind of how long this holdout lasts. I don't think he's going to attend the mandatory mini camps. I'm pretty sure he's going to be holding out until they come to the table with an offer that he's comfortable with. And it sounded like they were pretty far apart last time that we touched base on this, which was probably about a month or two ago. So we'll see, but I still am placing the Buffalo Bills as the number two team in the NFL this year, guys. Projection-wise, in terms of wins, if everything works out with James Cook and everything, I could see a 14-win season from the Bills as well, guys. I really think the Bills just have a strong team overall, and they're another team that really over this last free agency didn't really lose too much. A lot of guys like to be in Buffalo. A lot of guys like playing there. And then they have that late in the season kind of advantage. They have that late in the season advantage playing in Buffalo with all those snowstorms that they get. It's a great place to play. So I got the Buffalo Bills, man, as the number 2 team for this upcoming season, man. 14 wins is my projection for the Buffalo Bills. I'll say 13 to 14 wins for the Buffalo Bills is my projection. About 3 to 4 losses is what I'll probably see in their future. Third on the list, man. Third on the list. This was another one because it's another team that has been on the cusp of getting there, but hasn't, gotten over that hump. And so my decision to put them here is me feeling like potentially this could be the year that they get over the hump, but I'm also thinking this could be the year they take a step back finally, potentially. So I don't know, but just looking at the pieces, I'm going to say getting over the hump is more realistic for this team. At number 3, guys, my number 3 team for this upcoming season, guys, the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, man, you got to love Lamar, obviously. I'm skeptical on coaching. I've said that in regard to Harbaugh. He's similar to Tomlin for me. These guys have been in their teams respectively to them and respectfully to them for a decade and not done or won anything. Okay, that's absurd to me in any sport, to be a coach for that long and not win anything. It's like, I get it, you're banging your head on the wall, and we love your effort trying to bang your head on the wall to get through to the other side, but you're banging your head on the wall. And eventually you're going to knock yourself out, right? Like, that's just what it is with these guys like Harbaugh and Tomlin. I just can't stand it that nobody says that out loud just because they get their teams to there and their teams fight hard and okay, whatever, bro. But again, I love Lamar, skeptical with the coaching, but they re-signed Rashad Bateman. I think that's a great show of faith for the receiving core that they have. Zay Flowers was dealing with injuries last season. I really think, especially, you have Derrick Henry. All right, let's just put that out there first and foremost. Like, that's just the bottom line. They have Derrick Henry. I don't think Derrick Henry is slowing down anytime soon. And I know a lot of people argue he's going to eventually get past his prime. The thing about Derrick Henry you have to understand is, in a lot of cases, he's not taking like a beating out there. Okay, because of his size, because of his speed, because of his agility, number one, even when he gets tackled, he's such a big body that it's not like one of these little running backs. It's not like a Travis Etienne getting hit by 2 linemen, right? Like, Derrick Henry's gigantic, bro, okay? So, I think Derrick Henry still, even though he is a workhorse, I think he still has fresh legs. I think we see that every time he steps on the field. He still has that kick when he puts that plant foot in and goes the other direction and cuts up the field. He takes off, man. And something like that, a player like that, to me is something that puts them up there with the Eagles, again, with the Saquons of the world. Those dynamic guys that can just change the game with one singular play, with one singular motion and movement, man. I got to put the Ravens up there. I feel like, again, this could be the season where they finally take a step back, guys. I could be wrong about this. I have them at number 3, but this could actually be the season where Lamar and company take a step back and they potentially blow the whole thing up in Baltimore. Because at this point, again, they've been banging their head on the wall trying to get through. It's the same thing with the Buffalo Bills that we've seen. If they don't get it this season, their coach is going to be fired. Not because they are losing and they're horrific. It's just you're not getting us there, right? Like, that's just the bottom line. So I think you're going to see a similar situation with the Ravens, but in my opinion, I can't go against Lamar, man. I can't go against Derrick Henry, and I believe they can make a run and finally get over the hump this season. I think they do kick what's the saying? Kick themselves in the foot or kick them. I don't know. Whatever. I think they lose a lot of games, okay, with the Ravens. So, I'm not going to put them up there in the 14-win category, but I would put the Ravens in the 11 to 12-win category. I think they'll have 11 to 12 wins this upcoming season. Again, if I think they're under 10 wins and they don't have a good season, that Harbaugh will be gone, that we will probably see a couple pieces moved around in Baltimore, potentially Lamar Jackson. You know, being on the move when his contract is up, even though he does have a couple more years on there. But still, with the Ravens, man, yeah, I got him at the number 3 position. I think they will win 11 to 12 games this season. All right. So that's my number 3 team of this upcoming season, guys. Number 4 team of this upcoming season, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. Y'all know, man, anyone who knows with the Chargers, man, that I love them. I love them. I've been big and very high on the Chargers since the start of last season, especially as they ended the season making the playoff run, man, with the roster that they had. I just love their upside potential just as a team. I do wish, you know, this free agency they added a bit more at wide receiver. Keenan Allen is still available. Keenan Allen is still available. I don't know why the Chargers haven't re-signed Keenan Allen. He said he wanted to come back to Los Angeles. I don't know why they haven't re-signed Keenan Allen. His asking price has got to be ridiculous at this point for these teams not to be signing Keenan Allen. I just don't get it. Okay? Even the Raiders, for God's sake. Someone go sign Keenan Allen. Lord have mercy. Someone go sign Nick Chubb. This shit is killing me. Like, these guys are not scrubs, bro. You know, but look, aside from them not doing as much as I would have liked this free agency with wide receivers and everything like that, you know, I believe when it comes to the Chargers, guys, with Najee Harris going there at the running back position, they just drafted a very good young running back as well. They're focused on clearly building a 2-back system, and I think that simply caters to Justin Herbert's playing style, as I've mentioned, for a lot of quarterbacks, but specifically for Herbert. When you can get a play action going for a guy like him, he's an absolutely amazing quarterback. It takes him from a B-level quarterback to an A-level quarterback. When you can just get him a little bit more protection on the inside, and you can get a little bit more balanced of an offense and get that running game. So that's why I think you see the Chargers go out and get a guy like Najee Harris, who isn't an old guy. Najee's been in the league like 5-6 years realistically. He's still got some legs under him. That's why you see him go draft that other running back so high, is because they're trying to get this 2-back system to where it's very balanced, so they can keep the defense guessing and keep the defense kind of on their heels, try and give Herbie a little bit more time in the pocket. They bolstered up the O-line a little bit. I think if you can buy Justin Herbert 1 to 2 more seconds in the pocket per play on pass plays, man, or even half of them, I got the Chargers winning 12 to 14 games this season. We saw what they did with the roster last season. I believe they got like 10 wins to end the season, something like that. They fought hard for it. I got them winning 12 to 14 games this season. I think they are going to be fighting for the top position in their division in the AFC West. I think the Los Angeles Chargers will be fighting for the top position in the AFC West. So I got the Chargers as my number 4 team, guys, in the NFL next season. I got them winning 12 to 14 games and being a top 4 team in the NFL next season. All right. 5th on the list here, I got the Commanders. The Washington Commanders, man, you know, we've talked about them, right? But as I mentioned earlier today, in regard to the NFC, I think across the board, guys, go look up the 16 NFC teams. Across the board, guys, in my opinion, the NFC is wide open for the Philadelphia Eagles to just try and go on another run. The only team that I think could potentially hinder that, just because, again, holistically, their roster is so good in Washington, okay, is the Commanders. You know, the NFC's weak, and, you know, to me, they're the only contenders to be with the Eagles. So I'm super big on Cliff Kingsbury. I think, you know, he's got the quarterback that he wants. That was a big topic of conversation. We even spoke about it on the pod of, like, does Cliff Kingsbury leave, right, if they have this good season that they had last season? And ultimately the answer was no. Why would I leave and go take a head coaching position and get put in a position like Kellen Moore is in right now, right? Where it's going to take 2 to 3 seasons to build the roster and get the company that I want to bring into the team and have the team be successful, when I'm potentially being with the team in a wide open NFC, right? Like, not just their division, right? Wide open in the conference itself, in the NFC overall. Why would Cliff Kingsbury leave? He's got the Jaden Daniels, man. Dan Campbell is a hell of a coach, of course. You know, and I really think that they've established a culture in Washington where, you know, I could see 12 wins coming from them. I see 12 wins coming from the Washington Commanders this season. I think they've established a culture. They got, you know, very good wide receivers going on there, okay? And don't forget, if I'm not mistaken, Debo with the Washington Commanders, and so they are going to have a new look offense, man. I think if they could bolster up a little bit at the running back position, I don't like who is it? Brian Thomas. I don't really like Brian Thomas in their running back position, but again, I'm putting the Commanders at 12 wins, the fifth top team in the NFL, top 5 team in the NFL this year. Seemingly being because the NFC is so wide open. There's just not many contenders, in my opinion, in the NFC, aside from the Eagles and Commanders, man. So that's my top 5 teams, guys, in order for this upcoming season. I got the Eagles winning 14 or more games. The Bills having a 14-win season, 13-14, I will say. I have the Ravens having a 12-win season, the Chargers having a 12-14-win season, and the Commanders coming in 5th, having about a 12-win season as well. That is my top 5 teams for y'all, man, for the upcoming NFL season this season. Now, let's get into a couple sleepers, man. I got a couple sleepers for y'all I wanted to get into that I really think are going to have, you know, not crazy seasons, but I think they're going to win 10 to 12 games. I think these 2 teams that I'm going to mention are going to win 10 to 12 games, and I think if they catch fire at the right time, like we all see happen all the time, that these teams that I'm about to mention could go on runs, man. These are 2 teams that I think were hindered last season by multiple different things, mainly being injuries to key players and key pieces on the rosters, especially the offenses, but they still made out with, you know, I'll say subpar seasons, right, overall, but realistically speaking, they were contenders, okay? So the first sleeper team that I have, guys, to win 10 to 12 games and potentially make a run this season is going to be the Houston Texans, okay? The Texans made extreme moves to replace the injured Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs, who is now in New England, who was injured last season as well. They added multiple wide receivers, okay? CJ Stroud obviously had a sophomore slump. He dealt with, you know, everyone having film on him, throwing new packages at him, things like that, okay? But this season, it's DeMeco Ryans' 3rd season as a head coach. It's CJ Stroud's 3rd season as a quarterback. And I think it's very similar to Washington, okay? Where the Houston Texans have established a culture and an expectation down there. They've got the talent, and I think this season what you'll see more of from Houston is going to be effectively trying to use Joe Mixon in the backfield. That's why they brought him in last season, and they didn't effectively utilize him last season. He did not have a good season last season. But I was telling my brother-in-law last night, Joe Mixon is going to be a player, I'm telling you, is going to be a top 2 to 3 running back in the NFL this season. I'm telling you, mark my words, bookmark this pod right now, okay? Episode 41 of Hustle and Burn. Joe Mixon will be a top 3 running back in the NFL this upcoming season. So I think what you're going to see from Houston, and why I kind of put them in this sleeper category, 10 to 12 wins to go on a potential run this upcoming season, is they're going to use Joe Mixon more efficiently. Last season, in every single game but one last season that Joe Mixon had 100 rushing yards, guys, they won the football game. Every single game he had 100 rushing yards or more, aside from one last season, they won the football game, okay? So essentially, a lot of times teams just loaded the box due to the wide receiver injuries and everything that was going on. But this season, I think that changes a bit. And you see more of Joe Mixon being able to step out, being able to make those plays, being able to get around the edge like he's so good at. And what he was doing in Cincinnati and before he left. It's kind of crazy to think about, guys. Think about the fact that Cincinnati clearly just doesn't want to sign any good player, okay? Joe Mixon was at the peak of his career, and Cincinnati let him walk right out the door because they didn't want to pay him what he was worth. The running back market, unfortunately for him, hadn't reset at that point, and he was asking for pretty high money. But now the running back market has been reset. He's still on a 2 to 3 year contract, but he's eating for an extension. So, you know, he needs to try and earn that extension this season after a lackadaisical season last season. And I don't think it was his fault. Again, wide receivers are injured. You got Tank Dell going down. You got Stephon Diggs going down. Obviously, you can double cover the other guys that are there. you can throw a lot at them and just load the box and blitz a lot. And you know what C.J. Stroud's doing now because he's a sophomore, not a rookie. He was taking fire over the league. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion, guys. I really think Joe is going to have more opportunities to lead Houston on a potential run and get back to where they were in Stroud and D'Amico Ryan's rookie seasons, respectively, for themselves together. So that's my first sleeper team this upcoming season, guys. 10 to 12 wins for the Houston Texans in a potential run if they can catch fire at the right time, man. We'll see how it shakes out. Sleeper number 2 this upcoming season for me, guys, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars, man, I'm telling y'all, guys, the Jags are much better than they appear. They're much better than their record shows. Last season, they dealt with injuries, and the main one being to Trevor Lawrence. He was injured multiple times. He took that foul late hit that got him concussed and had him missing a couple games. That was so foul. I watched that shit live. That was so foul, man. And you know, he missed 7 to 8 games last season, bro. You know, so 7 to 8 games realistically out of 17 games is a bunch of games for your star quarterback, your franchise quarterback to miss. And on top of those 7 to 8 games that he missed, 8 of the Jaguars games last season, guys, were decided by 5 points or less. Okay? And 5 of those 8 were decided by 3 points or less. So at the end of the day, man, they were in contention last season a lot of the time, with a backup quarterback a lot of the time, okay? And so that's my reasoning for, you know, along with Brian Thomas Jr., he was right there for Rookie of the Year. Obviously, we saw that. Now you've added Travis Hunter to the roster, to the offense at the wide receiver position. Just gives Trevor Lawrence another, another individual to be able to look to, right? On the offense, you got Travis Etienne, who, if he can stay healthy, is a top 3 to 5 running back in the league as well. You got Tank Bigsby, who also busted on the season onto the scene last season, right? So, like, the Jags have so much offensive firepower. They have the 9th easiest schedule, the 9th easiest strength of schedule in this upcoming season, okay? And you have a new offensive-minded head coach. He's supposed to be an offensive wizard, right? The guy that came from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, at the end of the day, if the defense, in my opinion, for the Jaguars can hold teams to under 21 points, I think the Jaguars are going to be a team we see win 10-plus games this season, because I think they're going to be a team scoring 24, 28, 35 a game. I think their offense has so many weapons that if done right, and this coach has the brain that everyone says he has, the Jaguars are going to be, guys, a 10-plus win season, and they could potentially go on a run. They are a sleeper team for me, man. They have so much talent. So much talent. All right? Now, real quick, before we move on from the Not For Long League, I hope y'all like my list, man. Top 5 teams in the league and 2 sleepers, man. The Jaguars and the Houston Texans. I got them winning 10 to 12 games, going on a potential run. 3 teams I think will be taking a step back this year, guys. I'm going to kind of quickly go over these ones. 3 teams that I think will be taking a step back. I don't think, before I say this, that these teams are going to be jumping off a cliff, okay, by any means. I don't think that these teams are going to jump off a cliff, but I do think that they're going to be teams that, in my opinion, struggle to potentially even get to 10 wins this season, and definitely get less wins than their teams had overall last season, okay? So my 3 teams this upcoming season, guys, that are taking a step back from last season and where they were, first up is the Lions, man. I think the Detroit Lions have completely missed their window. But again, as I mentioned, the NFC is very weak, right? But, you know, and I love Dan Campbell, obviously. He knows how to fire the guys up, but I feel like some of the pieces they lost a big old lineman retiring, your offensive coordinator leaving, going to a division rival, and really just the rest of the league developing. I really think the Lions are going to be one of the teams that struggles more this season than they did last season, and I think they potentially missed their Super Bowl window. I truthfully do when it comes to Detroit, man. I think they are building something, but you only have those certain amount of time in that window in that season, man. If the cards don't fall right, man, it's hard to rebuild that stack of cards for yourself and that house of cards for yourself. So we'll see if the Lions can get back to where they were, but I got them taking a step back from last season. Second team that I got taking a step back this season, guys, is the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota. And you know, as I've said before, guys, on previous pods recently especially, they are relying on J.J. McCarthy, okay? And it could go really bad in Minnesota, okay? It could go bad really quick in Minnesota. Very bad, all right? Especially with their division getting better. The Packers definitely got better this offseason. The Bears obviously got better. They got their head coach that they wanted. And the Lions are still a top team as well. The Vikings could definitely be taking a major step back, and this could be Kevin O'Connell's final season coaching the Vikings. Realistically speaking, looking at it, again, you're relying on J.J. McCarthy, who hasn't played a down in the NFL. He's coming from college, off of back surgery. You don't know if this is going to pan out, okay? And keep an eye, guys, for Justin Jefferson. You know, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Keep an eye on Justin Jefferson potentially after this season, trying to get out of Minnesota, depending on the way things shake out. Because this is now going to be his third different quarterback in a matter of 5 seasons, okay? And, you know, again, they're going to be taking a step back from last season. We know he's a very vocal player. We know when they're winning, it's great. When they're losing, he's on the bench mad with the shades on, you know what I mean? Like, he's that type of guy. So keep a close eye on Minnesota, but I do have them taking a step back in comparison to where they were last season. Obviously, they caught hot fire, but I think they are going to struggle to win 10 games this season for the Minnesota Vikings, all right? My third team taking a step back, man, is the Kansas City Chiefs. And look, man, look, man, nothing lasts forever, okay? And that's just the reality of it. Nothing lasts forever. I know that they fought and clawed their way like hell last season to get to where they did, but I just don't and didn't see the Chiefs really getting any better over this offseason, okay? And with the moves that they made and things like that. So I think the more harsh seasons where you're in these close games and things like that, and you're having to fight for every win that you get just to make it to, you know, making that playoff run, etc. I think it puts more wear and tear on these guys. And that's just the reality. And after multiple consecutive seasons of having to scratch and claw your way to playoff runs, I think you're seeing that, and it's evident from them. And I think this season in their division that's all around much better, I think they are going to struggle to get past the 10-win mark. I know that sounds crazy to say for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's Andy Reid, it's Patrick Mahomes. They're going to have those couple lucky games just because it's that duo. But at the end of the day, man, I think the Chiefs are going to take another step back. We saw them take a step back last season. They didn't look like the Chiefs of old. I think we're going to see them regress even further. I think we are going to see Travis Kelce regress even further. I think you're going to see some more struggles out of Mahomes this season, some more frustrations. Not everything lasts forever, man. Dynasties don't last forever, and a lot of times, the bigger the dynasty, the harder it comes crumbling down. So, you know, they've won 3 Super Bowls out of the last 5 seasons or whatever the case may be. You know, they're not done by any means, but I do think they're going to take a step back from where they were last season. And with their division, again, I got the Chargers winning the AFC West, okay? That's my prediction, is the Chargers win the AFC West. I think the Chiefs and Raiders are going to be battling. Yeah, I think the Chiefs and I think the Chiefs and Broncos, as a matter of fact. No, I'm sorry. The Broncos and Raiders are going to be battling for the second position in the AFC West. I think the third position is going to go to either one of those 2 teams I just mentioned. And I think there's potential for the Chiefs to get last in the AFC West this season. I think the AFC West is going to be, and let me say, them getting last may look like 10 wins in that division. That is a very good division that I just listed off, right? But it's going to be dependent on Bo Nix and everything. But again, guys, this is just going through teams that I think are going to take a step back and look worse. So my 3 teams that I think are taking a step back, looking worse than they did last season, is going to be the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, Minnesota, and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's my 3 teams for y'all, man. That's what I got for y'all for the Not For Long League, man. I ain't going to give y'all too much more. Really, you know, not too much investment wrap. Amazon did invest $10 billion, billion into North Carolina. Now the location, you know, and it's to expand cloud and AI infrastructure. The location just gets my conspiracy theorist mind running, right? Like, oh, so you're now going to invest $10 billion, okay, $10 billion in the place that conveniently just got destroyed by a natural disaster last year, the place that the government was not wanting to fund to rebuild, the place that everyone's been complaining about the Democrats wouldn't assist with and help out. Now Amazon wants to invest $10 billion in that. Interesting, man. Smart business move or what? I think so. But my conspiracy mind has to run, right? If we think these guys are all evil the way that we all think that the government and the elites are evil, did they purposely demolish North Carolina and parts of North Carolina with a natural disaster? I don't know, man. I'm just saying, man. I don't know. Obviously, everyone saw this week Donald Trump and Elon Musk falling out, man. This is just bad for both sides. Realistically speaking, in my opinion, it is worse for Elon because the reality is if you knew that Trump was on the Epstein list, you still backed him. That just speaks to your morals. Him saying that Trump would have lost the election without him, to me, is almost saying, yeah, I bought the election for you. Which was a big conspiracy theory heading into it, was that like everyone was saying Elon Musk is the president, right? Like we all remember this. It wasn't that long ago. Let's not forget. Back in January, everyone was saying President Musk, right? So him coming out and saying, you know, without me, you wouldn't have won this election. I feel like it just, you know, kind of compromises the integrity damn near of the election itself and kind of what went on. But you know, I think in my opinion, we know Donald Trump is a businessman and he's out for, you know, his own and his best interest. I think Elon got into this political world and money ended up not even being enough to sway these guys off of their own agendas, man. That's how stuck in their ways that these politicians are, that at a certain point, they don't care about what money that you're offering. They simply want to do what they want to do, and they are going to do what they want to do. It seems like, especially with Donald Trump. So, you know, obviously we hope that everything works out. We never want to see this, especially on a public display. It just makes us look weak as a country. I do think Donald Trump is handling it well. Y'all know we don't get into politics on this podcast, but I do think in the manner that he's handling it, he is handling it well, man. You know, obviously you see the Elon smear campaign going on, and we've seen it all year, man. It is what it is. It's going to be interesting to see how Democrats try and spin this narrative and see how Democrats, if they decide to jump on the Elon bandwagon, or kind of what happens in this sort of situation. Elon already said we potentially needed a new third party that's kind of in the middle outside of Democrats and Republicans. That's the 80% of people, in his opinion, that are kind of like in the middle and on the fence about both sides and everything that's going on and the policies and the agendas, etc. But we'll see, man. We'll see a lot going on in the world, guys. But really, you know, my main message to y'all is just stay focused, man. And just, you know, really be present. Be present every day. Be present in everything you do. Be present in every conversation, and just be excited to be living life, man. Obviously, there's a lot of madness that goes on around us, but we're all so blessed just to wake up. We're all so blessed just to be here. We're all so blessed to be able to experience life in the way that we're experiencing life. So again, as I always tell you guys, man, I know when I come on here and I preach to y'all and I say, you know, stay motivated, stay confident, stay hustling, stay burning, just stay in that gym if that's your thing, stay in the booth if that's your thing, stay on the pods if that's your thing, stay on the fucking school if that's your thing. Whatever it is that is your thing, I know it sounds so stupid for me to say, just stay motivated, just keep going. But the bottom line is, guys, you hear these successful people all the time just say the one difference between them and probably their 10 other friends, and why their 10 other friends didn't make it to the point that they made it to in whatever area that they made it to, is because they did not stop. They did not stop. They kept believing. They didn't care about any outside opinions. They knew what their mission was and what their goal was, and they stuck to that goal, and they didn't let anyone hinder them or knock them off of that goal. And it sounds so simple, guys, but if it's so simple, then we can all do it, right? And that's my message to y'all today, man, is this shit is simple, okay? But a lot of times what happens is so many distractions are thrown our way in this world, in this life, that we get knocked off the path to understand how simple it really is. This shit is simple, okay? And for a lot of us that are about trying to, you know, level up and be our best selves, like I always preach to y'all. I know y'all are with me. I know y'all are listening. I know y'all hear it. I know a lot of y'all see it. You feel me? Like, you gotta just keep going, man. And the more present that you can be, the better off you're going to be, the happier you're going to be, the more relaxed you're going to be, the less stressed you're going to be. So, I know I'm on a tangent right now, but y'all see I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. It's June. I got a great energy. I feel the energy. I feel y'all's energy tuning in every single week. I appreciate y'all. This has been an episode of Hustle and Burn, y'all. It is your boy CJ the DJ. We out.